Welcome to our death series. This is episode 6. Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying the death series. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to check out my prison series and let me know which series are you completely enjoying. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 16 celebrities who passed away and what their shocking last words were. Okay, and their last words is often remembered throughout history. Okay, so for some reason a lot is made out of a person's last words. Maybe it's expected that they will say something particularly profound, or perhaps offer an apology or a confession of some sort. When it comes to famous people, maybe their adoring fans just want one last piece of celebrity to hang on to. Here are 16 examples of touching, clever, and just plain shocking last words. Okay, so let's jump into the video. Alright, people. So, Joe DiMaggio, and I know who he is because I loved Marilyn Monroe, and he did too. So he said, I finally get to see Marilyn. See, he knew he was passing, so she was the first one to cross his mind. I like how he's thinking, don't you people? So the legendary Yankee slugger was married to Marilyn for less than 1 full year, but she left a lasting impression on him, as you can see. They were married briefly in 1954, but despite their breakup, DiMaggio always loved her. He claimed her body when she passed in 1962 and took care of her funeral arrangements. That's how much he loved her, people. And when Jotlin Joe passed away in 1999, 37 years later, his last words were about his former wife. Isn't that pretty sweet, pretty romantic? I think so. Okay, so next person on the list, I am not familiar with them. Their name is Dimebag Darrell. Okay, and their last words was Van Halen. Okay, so Dimebag Darrell Abbott was a legendary metal guitarist, best known for his work with Pantera and Damageplan. He was gunned down by a man named Nathan Gall during a concert in Columbus, Ohio. In 2004, 3 other people also passed in the attack, with several more wounded. Okay, so the next person we all know, and that's Elvis Presley. So his last words were, I'm going to pass. I'm going to the bathroom to read. That was his last words. The king of rock and roll had a less than dignified passing. He had a heart attack while in the bathroom at just 42 years of age. His fiancée, Ginger Aiden, wrote in her memoir that these were the last words Presley said before she later found him unresponsive on the bathroom floor. Very sad, right, people? The next person on the list, his name is Steve Jobs, and his last words were, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. The founder of Apple and technological visionaries was considered by many to be a modern genius. He was also a well-documented jerk. Despite being the brain behind revolutionary computing ideals like the iPod and the modern smartphone, Steve Jobs wasn't smart enough to trust the advice of doctors when he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He ignored their treatment options and tried to battle the cancer himself with a mixture of diet changes, herbal medicines, and acupuncture. He passed in 2011 at the age of 56. Maybe people are stubborn and they're caught in how they feel, or maybe they've done everything they wanted to do, people, and they're just ready to go. You ever think about that? And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe, people. Okay, so the next person is Joan Crawford. She said the D word. She said, D word it. Don't you dare ask God to help me. Then she said Joan Crawford was an American film and television actress who lived to be 73 years old, but she wasn't ready to accept religion into her life at the very end. She reportedly scolded attendants who were praying for her before passing from a heart attack in 1977. Okay, people, the next person was Tupac Shakur. I just call him Tupac. His last words, we cannot say it, but he said the F word. Okay, we can't say it, people. I don't know why he had to say that. Okay, that's sad, right? Okay, so apparently Tupac was ready to stay gangster until the end. After being gunned down following a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, he uttered these famous last words according to one officer. Shakur passed 6 days later after being on life support. I think he knew he was going to be gone. Okay, the next person on the list is named Bud Dwyer. He said, please, please leave the room if this will affect you. I've never heard of this person. Okay, so the Pennsylvania State Treasurer, R. Bud Dwyer, may not have been famous before his death, but he certainly was after being convicted of political corruption. Dwyer scheduled a news conference, presumably to announce his resignation from office. Instead, he read a final speech and then pulled out a weapon, people, and shot himself in the head on live TV. Oh, so I guess that's how he got famous, doing something crazy. That's not good, right? Okay, so the next person on the list, their name is Per Ohlin. And their last words was, excuse the blood. Okay, so Per Ohlin, the lead singer of the Swedish death metal band Mayhem, had a flair for dramatics. His stage name was simply Dead and was known for loud music and ghoulish makeup. He also had a long history of self-harm and depression. He slit his wrist, people, and this area too, in 1991, leaving a suicide note that began with the apology, excuse the blood. Okay, so this person's nuts. Okay, so the next person, their name is George Eastman. And their last words was, to my friends, my work is done. Why wait? Okay, so George Eastman was the founder of Eastman Kodak, the company that would revolutionize the photography industry. As he grew older, although he found himself in severe pain from a spinal disorder, he committed suicide in 1932, leaving a short and simple note for his family and friends. Okay, so again, the Kodak photo person, their last words was, to my friends, my work is done, why wait? See, he felt like he did everything he wanted to do and that he was ready to just go. That there is nothing and no reason to continue to stay, people. Sometimes it's just like that, where you feel like you've lived and did pretty much everything you wanted to do. You're like, there's nothing left to do. Okay, so next on the list, another person I have not heard of, Kurt Cobain. It's better to burn out than fade away. The man who helped pioneer the grunge music sound quoted another musician in his suicide note. That's a line from Neil Young's Hey Hey Into the Black that Cobain included as his last words before shooting himself in 1994 is hauntingly accurate, as Cobain and Nirvana went from being one of the biggest bands in the world to simply not existing overnight. Also, people, if you, like me, haven't heard of some of these people, let me know in the comments below. And if you've heard of everyone on the list, let me know that too. Okay, so next on the list is Marie Antoinette. Her last words were, pardon me, sir, I did not do it on purpose. In the wake of the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette and her husband, King Louis, were both executed for treason. Antoinette accidentally stepped on her executioner's foot while climbing the guillotine scaffold. Forever the lady, she apologized before promptly losing her head. Okay, so next on the list is Humphrey Bogart. I should have never switched from Scotch to Martinez. That was the last words. The legendary American actor was most famous for his roles in film and classics such as The Maltese Falcon and Casablanca. He was the leader of the Rat Pack before his passing in 1957, and allegedly uttered this comical quip before passing away from cancer. Okay, so the next person on the list is Gia Allemand, and her last words was "Mom gets everything." The reality TV star, known for her stints on The Bachelor and The Bachelor Pad, hung herself in 2013 at just 29 years of age. Okay, so Gia reportedly left a suicide note with the final words, "Mom gets everything." You get it? Where she's trying to say, "Leave everything to my mom," which we can assume was her attempt at making a will. She officially passed 2 days later when hospital staff removed her from life support. Okay, so listen, people. She was very young, and if you are in love with someone, maybe you should give it more time for you to meet someone new. Because just because they didn't choose you, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't possibly meet someone else years later down the line. So give your life a fair chance, people. Okay, so next on the list is Walt Disney. His last words were Kurt Russell. This one remains a mystery to this day. The man who was responsible for the creation of Disney scribbled down the name of then child actor Kurt Russell on a piece of paper as his final communication in 1966. His family couldn't figure out why, and even Russell himself says he doesn't know the significance. Okay, so next on the list is Princess Diana, and her last words were, "Oh my God." Princess Diana is still one of the most remembered celebrity deaths of all time. Her car crash in a Paris tunnel in 1997 when her driver lost control at high speed while drunk. According to a firefighter who was part of the first responders team, Diana's last words were, "Oh my God." You know what, people? Why is someone drunk driving the princess? It's not adding up. It's not making any sense. Okay, so number one on the list is Barry White. His last words were, "Leave me alone, I'm fine." Barry White was an excellent singer and songwriter, but not very good at medical diagnosis. While in the hospital for high blood pressure and falling in a failing liver for Barry White allegedly told his nurses to stop bothering him. Bad advice, because he passed away shortly and he was 58 years of age. So, that is all we have for you guys. And those were the famous people in their last words. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.